She introduced him as Jason, her boyfriend, and I just couldn't stop staring at how perfect he was. I need you to convince Dad to pay $100,000 to my manager. Yeah.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way.
Testing. What up, y'all? It's your boy. Long time no hear or see. But I am back. For good this time. Just wanted to start the week off with an MSA Monday. Just wanted to say I miss y'all. I really do. I do have some views now that watch my videos, but just wanted to get it out there that I miss y'all. Anyway, just make sure y'all take out your snacks and stuff. I'm just going to take out the biscuits that I took from the Gouda shop. They're delicious though, but you can maybe get yourself an apple juice box, some snacks, all that stuff. But we are back. Since you can't see me, I was just punching there, but let's just get the video started.
Hello everyone, my name is Rue, and this is my story. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to MSA. I was brought up by a single dad who worked very hard to give me a good life. We didn't.
But you heard her, y'all. Visit MSA and like and subscribe. Also to my channel. Please.
Have much, but Dad and I had each other, and it was enough.
Always work hard and success will follow. Got that, little birdie?
I'll say yes if you buy me ice cream. Dad and I were close, and we would talk about everything under the sun. Well, everything except Mom. Every time I tried asking Dad about Mom, he would avoid the topic like the plague, and eventually I stopped asking. Growing up, I fell in love with music. It was my dream to become a singer, and at 19, my dream finally came true when I got an invitation to audition for a famous all-girls group, the Masked Minx. These girls were super famous, but no one knew what they looked like because they always performed with a mask on. I was pretty excited, but the only thing was to convince Dad.
But I've never been away from you, and you're too young to travel alone. What if you get in some trouble?
Then come with me.
I wish I could, but I have a work trip coming up.
I just know if I had a mom, it would be easier for both of us. She could take me on this trip and you could go to work, Dad. Well, I guess I am that unlucky. No mom, no trips. Sucks, but I know you're doing your best, Dad.
Hey, we're very lucky to have each other. I guess I can make some time and take you, but you have to promise that you'll quit bringing up these stories of your mom.
I promise. And just like that, Dad and I were on a plane to London. The band had arranged for us to fly first class, and when we finally arrived, I was excited to be welcomed at the airport by a personal chauffeur. Soon after, we reached the hotel where we were staying, and it was also the venue for the auditions. I hugged my dad and entered the audition room, but it was empty. Just then, someone tapped on my shoulder. I turned around and almost passed out. It was a girl, and she had the exact same face as mine, only more polished and prettier. Okay, I know that we have at least 7 people who look exactly like you, but dude.
Let me guess. This MSA is going to be about mysterious twin. The twin's mother is with the, let's just say twin number 2 because we were introduced to Rue first. So, twin number 2 has twin number 1's biological mother. Let's just say that. Because it makes much more sense in that manner.
This is beyond freaky. Who are you? Firstly, please don't touch me. I hate being touched. Too many germs. And secondly, I am Ava, and I'm your twin sister. My what? Ava went on to tell me about how we were twins and that our parents separated shortly after we were born. She was raised by our mom, while Dad stayed back in America with me. She was a singer too, but recently she discovered that she had laryngitis and her singing career was basically over. I was the one who sent you the mail and called you here. I have a very important tour coming up, and since I can't sing, I need you to take my place. You'll get a lot of money and I won't lose my contracts. If you do a good job, maybe I can get my friend in the USA to sign you for his record label. Okay, slow down. Can we take a step back? You're one of the masked minx and you want me to sing for you? That's right. Are you crazy? I just found out.
These masked unicorn thingamajiggies. Thank you. They really remind me of, from Miraculous, the Tales of Ladybug and Catnoir, remind me of the that unicorn band from Miraculous. Did they take it from there?
I have a twin sister, and my head is already spinning, and I'm so close to having a panic attack. Ooh, 1 second. Even if, in some parallel reality, this whole thing was true, I would still have to tell my dad about you. Your dad, I mean our dad, can't know that we've met. I do not want him to get suspicious. Mom has always told me how dad has hated her all her life, and now I don't want him to take you away. Please, Rue, help me. How do I even know you're my sister? Ava showed me a copy of my birth certificate and a few pictures of us together as babies, but I couldn't trust her. So before I agreed, I placed a condition. I'll agree if you make me meet Mom. Deal. Dad was waiting for me in the hotel lobby, and I felt so angry by looking at his face. How could he hide such a big truth from me? I wanted to confront Dad, but I also wanted to meet Mom, so I decided to stay quiet and go with the flow. I went back to my room and dozed off. And hours later, I was woken up by a frantic call from Ava. I need to see you. Now, come to the lobby and I'm sending a car. I got dressed urgently and did as Ava asked. We met at a restaurant where Ava walked in with the most gorgeous guy on her arm. She introduced him as Jason, her boyfriend, and I just couldn't stop staring at how perfect he was. I need you to convince Dad to pay $100,000 to my manager.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. 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 Boy.
Yeah, he's very cute. Wait, sorry, what? I need money, and I promise you will get back much more money when I get you signed on at my friend's record label. Why do you need so much money suddenly? To make arrangements for my tour. Why else? Mom spent all the money I made on my treatment, and I have no savings left. Please, if you do this, I will take you to see Mom. I promise. I was a little taken aback, but I wanted to see my mom so desperately. So I agreed to help Ava out. But Dad would never let go of such a huge amount. So my only other option was Grandpa. He owned several big shopping malls all over the country. He always told me that I could ask for anything. I called my grandpa and explained the situation to him. He was so happy that I finally met my twin. He apologized for not telling me all this time and promised to help with the money. The next day, Ava let me practice with her background singers and dancers, and I got such a rush out of it. She even let me sign some autographs for her fans on her behalf, and I loved being in the spotlight. After the practice, Ava and I were on our way back when I asked her if I could meet Mom. Not yet. Mom just had a minor heart attack last month, and seeing you might put her into shock, so we need to wait. Meanwhile,
She's lying. Do not trust her. Back away.
be a doll and get me some more money. Why? I've already spent enough, Ava. I need to see Mom now, or I will call off the deal. I asked the driver to stop the car and walked out feeling confused and angry. I wanted to cry because I had just lost my grandpa his $100,000 and I still hadn't seen my mom. I was outside the hotel when suddenly someone yanked at my arm. Jason, what do you think you're doing?
Listen to me carefully, Rue. You have to get out of here. Ava and her mom are bad news. I heard Ava's mom talking about how they're going to drain your dad's finances. I think you're a really nice person. So please, just tell your dad the truth and go back home.
And why should I trust you over my own family?
Because I know them? I've been with Ava long enough to know when she's lying. And her mother is no saint.
She's my mom too, and I think I'm old enough to know what's right and wrong. So thank you, but I'll take it from here. Saying that, I turned around and left, but Jason's words kept ringing in my head. I couldn't sleep a wink that night, and the next morning, I decided to finally tell Dad everything, but he was nowhere to be found. So I went downstairs and saw him talking to a strange woman in the hotel lobby. I walked up to him, and when he saw me, he turned white.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
This is Claire, your mom. I am so sorry you had to find out like this, and I know you met your twin. Your grandpa called me after Claire called him demanding for $1 million. We will be heading home tomorrow. I was just saying goodbye.
So you're saying goodbye and I don't even deserve a hello? How is that fair? Don't blame your dad, sweetie. Don't call me sweetie. You know why I asked Ava to meet you? So I could stand in front of you and ask you how you could abandon your own child. I could only afford to bring up one child, and I randomly picked Ava. Not that it was a good decision. She's pretty much useless now. Your absolute disregard for humanity amazes me. And thank God I never got a chance to know you, or I would be the only kid in the world who hates their own mother. I turned around and ran to my room. An hour later, Dad showed up and told me the whole truth about how Claire had been using the excuse of raising Ava alone to get money from both my dad and Grandpa, and they kept it as a secret to protect me. You could have told me the truth.
You would have gone behind her anyway, little birdie. I know you that much.
Dad and I left for home that night, but I couldn't go back back without meeting Ava, so I asked her to meet me at the airport, and surprisingly, she showed up. I introduced her to Dad. He was so happy, and he hugged her and shed tears. Ava and I sat down, and I told her about what Mom had said. Mom didn't raise me. She gave me up at birth, and I lived in an orphanage. I only got back with her a few years back when someone from the orphanage told her about my singing talent, and since then, she's been trying to use me as a money-making machine. I hate her! Then come with us. Dad and I would love to have you. I would love to, but I can't. I still have so many debts to pay because of Claire. I tried to convince Ava, but she refused. And soon after, Dad and I boarded the flight and left. Weeks passed, but I felt an empty pit in my stomach every time I thought about Ava. She was all alone, fighting my dragon of a mother, and I had to do something to help her, so I turned to Jason for help.
I told you, stay away from her. She and her mom are crooks.
My mom's using Ava. Please, Jason. She's my sister and your girlfriend. We have to help her out.
Okay, this might be a long shot, but what if we do a concert as Ava? It'll be like a face reveal tour. I know a few people who could help us find a band, and we will use social media to spread the word and see where it goes.
And what if I'm not that good?
I've heard you sing, Rue. You'll be just fine.
We spoke to Ava, and she was on board. Jason came down the next week, and we spent days planning every second of the concert. Even my grandpa stepped in to give us a little money. Our posts on social media were very well received, and soon enough, almost all the tickets were sold out. Then one night, I was grabbing coffee when I saw Jason at the same cafe, engrossed in a book. That seems like a heavy read.
It's about kids who grew up in an orphanage. I was one of them.
I'm sorry, Jason. That must have been tough.
It was, but it made me who I am. And besides, I found a great family who loves me and adores me. You learn to find family in unexpected places.
Our conversation flowed from there. We talked about our pasts, our dreams, our fears. I shared about the loneliness I felt growing up without a mother, and he spoke of the challenges of growing up without a family at all. I'd never connected with anyone like this before, and it was truly amazing. One night before the performance, I was nervously checking out the stage when Jason slid his hand inside mine. I just hope it works.
I'm sure it will. And Drew, it's amazing what you're doing for
Boy,
me.
ain't no way,
Not everyone
boy.
has this kind of heart.
Not everyone gets a second chance with their families either. Trust me, I'm doing this for myself. Jason came forward, gently stroked my cheeks, and I felt my face on fire. And before I could react, he leaned in and kissed me, but I pushed him away. This is not right. You're with Ava.
No, I'm not. Ava and I were just dating for the public. Trust me, we mean nothing to each other.
She's still my sister, and you and I have to respect that. I walked away from Jason knowing I really wanted the kiss. But family is more important, so I decided to put my feelings aside and concentrate on the bigger picture. The next night was the concert, and it was a huge hit. We collected a lot of money, and when Ava found out, she was beyond happy. That night, I slept with the best feeling ever. But the next morning, my dad shook me awake, and then he told me the most shocking news of my life. Apparently, Ava had turned down my offer to move in with me and Dad, and instead, she slapped me with a legal notice for impersonating her without her permission. The only way she would take her complaint back was if my dad agreed to pay her $10 million. I feel so stupid for wanting to help her.
It's not your fault. I guess she's just more like your mom than you thought.
I could not stop crying because I knew this was going to make me and Dad so poor. I had to come up with a solution before we ended up homeless. So I decided to approach Ava, but my calls and messages went unanswered. I was running out of options when a couple of days later, Ava showed up at my front door along with Jason. What are you doing here? I ran away. I'm finally free. Free to do what? Brand me as a liar? I tried to help you, and you threatened to sue me. It wasn't me. It was all Claire's idea. Apparently, Claire had taken all of Ava's phones, and she was the one who had sent the notice in Ava's name.
I'd gone back home to talk to Ava in person, but she was missing.
I tried to tell her how wrong this was, but she just locked me up. But somehow I ran away and hid at my friend's place till Jason found me. I'm so sorry, Rue. It's okay. All that matters is that now you're here and you're safe. I hugged Ava tight, and the two of us told Dad everything. He got the best lawyers, and with Ava's testimony, Claire landed in jail for exploiting a minor against her will and cheating Dad out of his money. She just called the house one day and begged me to take her back as our mom. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I'm your mother. You can't send me to jail. Oh, yes, we can. Just like you sent Ava to an orphanage, and just like you abandoned me and my father. Now it's time for payback, and you're gonna get yours. Dang right you will. Soon after Mom went to jail, Ava and I decided to share our story with the world, and it was very well received. We became famous and even launched our music careers. I sang and Ava played the piano. One day as we were done performing, Ava hugged me tight and whispered in my ear, "Jason's here to see you. Don't worry, he told me everything about how you both are pigeon heads and were ready to sacrifice your love for me. So, you don't have a problem?" "No, dummy. I never loved him the way you do. Go on, he's all yours." I was so happy, I rushed backstage and saw Jason waiting for me. Without thinking,
Why is this boy calling me?
I threw my arms around him and pulled him in. I know too much has happened, but I'm ready to move on if you are.
I'm 10 steps ahead of you, babe.
I learned that sometimes the people related to you can hurt you the most, and you always have to be ready for anything.
Why y'all shutting that door? So that was a good MSA, but like, dang, it was too much. Well, they did prove me wrong. Leave me alone, you boy. They did prove me wrong about one thing. The whole shenanigans. I thought the mother would be loving like most mothers on MSA, but she's just something. Well, on to the next animation. See y'all. Well, right now, because I'm making it right now.
Your joggers are green and your waistline thick. Sometimes your food makes me sick. I love you a little more in every way. Because you're my mother, happy Mother's Day. When I was finished with my poem, there was complete silence. And suddenly, my sister Eva burst into laughter. What a dumb poem. I looked at Mom, and my eyes welled with tears. Then Mom stood up and applauded.
Bravo! Bravo! Oh, sweetheart, that was the best poem ever.
Hey, my name's Tanya, and if you want to hear about the biggest sibling rivalry of the century, keep watching. My sister Eva and I were born to a mother who was a world-renowned author, known for her amazing stories. But our dad was a struggling dancer, and a pretty bad one at that. Luckily, I took after Mom and loved writing. I dreamt of publishing my stories one day like Mom, so I'd spend hours in my room creating the most amazing stories ever.
The snake slithered in the dark cave. It's a salty sea breeze.
Has anyone realized that this girl hasn't introduced herself? We don't even know what your name is.
Kiss Captain Silver on his cheek.
But Eva took after Dad and wanted to be a world-famous dancer. Heck, she wanted everyone in the family to be a dancer.
Tanya, you should give up writing and become a dancer. You'll never make it as a writer with that lisp.
You see, I had a lisp, and because of it, my S's and Z's sounds like at school. Kids teased me about it, and I didn't have any friends. This obviously meant I was super shy and avoided talking to people. Eva, on the other hand, was super popular with tons of friends who were always ready to see her newest dance moves, no matter how crazy they were. Growing up, even though Eva teased me about my lisp, we were pretty good friends. But then, everything changed. When Eva and I turned 13, our parents started fighting like crazy. They were always arguing over bills and couldn't even stand to be in the same room with each other. A few months later, Dad left and we never saw him again.
Good riddance to you and your poverty.
Eva and I were devastated, but after Dad left, Mom changed. She hated each and everything about Dad. So she...
Why is this boy calling me? Can't he see I'm trying to make a video?
She tried to steer Eva away from dancing.
Eva, dancing is dumb.
But I'm good at it, Mom.
Honey, I've seen you trip over your own 2 feet more times than I can count.
Then I'll stumble my way to the stars.
When Mom realized she was talking to a brick wall, she turned all her attention to me.
Tanya, another A.
Now I'm turning off my Wi-Fi. I'm turning off my Wi-Fi.
In creative writing, let's celebrate.
She ignored Eva completely, no matter how much Eva tried to win her over.
Mom, I won the
talent show at school today with my dancing skills. It didn't matter what Eva accomplished. Mom never praised her, and Eva began to hate me for hogging Mom's attention and tried to make me look bad in front of her. About a week after our 15th birthday, Mom hosted a small gathering and asked me to make caramelized apples for the guests. I was super excited, and the apples smelled amazing. But when the guests tasted the apples, they almost puked.
These are disgusting! Is that dish soap?
Yep, sure enough, my sister switched my caramelized apples with apples covered in dish soap. Another time, Mom invited her writing friends over, and while I was in the middle of reading my stories, Eva walked in with a radio in her hand, blaring hip-hop music. She twirled, leaped, and swayed to the rhythm. For a second, everyone was impressed. But then, disaster struck as Eva tried to execute a dramatic spin. Her foot accidentally connected with the edge of the table, sending the fishbowl flying, and poor Benny landed in Mom's editor's mouth. Mom was furious.
Eva, no more dancing ever.
You have no right to take dancing away from me.
I'm your mother, and what I say goes.
I hate you. That night, Mom removed every device that could play music in the house. Eva looked ready to explode. The next day was Saturday, and I woke up to the worst screeching sound coming from Eva's room. When I got to Eva's room, she was huffing and puffing with wild enthusiasm into a harmonica. Eva, you sound like you're strangling cats. Since I can't dance, I'm starting our school's first harmonica club. Eva smirked devilishly as she blew once more into the harmonica. She was so annoying. I returned to my bedroom and tried to block out the noise, but then neighborhood dogs began to howl in unison. Oh God, make it stop. I decided that I needed to get out of the house if I was going to get any peace and quiet. Angrily, I gathered my books and ran out to the park. As I was walking past the pond in the park, someone screamed,
Look out!
but before I could react, someone crashed into me, sending us tumbling into the pond. I sputtered and stood up utterly drenched. My precious stories were now a pile of soggy pages soaked beyond recognition.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't stop.
I was so furious and devastated that I could power a rocket to Mars with the steam coming out of my ears. It's not your fault. It's my sister's. Her and her stupid harmonica. I marched home with a thunderous fury in my steps, each one echoing my building frustration. As I prepared to confront Eva, I burst through the front door, and there Eva was, sitting in the living room. I threw my ruined stories at her. Because of you, my stories are ruined. With a rush of adrenaline, I lunged at Eva, and the living room became a war zone. A few minutes later, Mom walked through the front door and pulled us apart.
Why are you girls fighting?
I quickly explained what happened to Mom, while Eva fumed on the other side of her. Everything I worked so hard on is now gone. And how is that my fault, Tanya? If you weren't playing that stupid harmonica, I wouldn't have had to leave the house.
Eva, you're grounded. Go to your room, now.
Eva glared at us and then stormed off.
Don't worry, Tanya. Together, we'll create more stories from that big, beautiful brain of yours.
Over the next few days, Mom and I spent hours huddled together, weaving new stories to replace the ones that were lost. Our collaboration was nothing short of magical. About a month later, I had completed 20 incredible short stories, which Mom took to her publisher. And guess what? He loved it. With Mom's help, I had just accomplished my first major writing achievement. Eek! I can't believe I'm about to become a published author.
Congratulations, Tanya. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Mom. I couldn't do it without you. News about my first book spread through the school like wildfire, and it wasn't long before I became more popular than Eva. Over the next year, with the help of specialists,
I have to say though, I really appreciate the new animations that MSA is really trying to enforce into your videos. It's amazing. Like how hard these people work every day just to entertain us. Like your boy.
my lisp improved, and I published 2 more books. The more famous I got, the more rebellious Eva got. She'd come home late, started skipping school, and hung out with the wrong crowd. One afternoon while at the mall, I even caught her trying to shoplift. Eva, what are you doing? What I'm doing is none of your business, Tanya. It is my business because you're my sister and I care about you. You care about me so much that not once have you stood up for me since Mom banned me from dancing. A wave of guilt washed over me. Eva was
right. I was so caught up following my dream, while her dreams remained out of reach. Eva, maybe we can talk to Mom together. Eva's eyes darkened and she leaned close, our faces inches apart.
No need, because soon you'll realize that dreams don't last forever.
Eva brushed past me and left the store. On my way home, my mind was still reeling from my encounter with Eva, so I decided that a few donuts would help brighten my mood. Much to my surprise, Pond Boy was behind the cash register. Hey, it's you. What are you doing here? Pond Boy flashed me a mischievous smile.
Gotta keep an eye on the coffee beans. They can be quite mischievous, always plotting to escape.
So, you're coffee bean security?
Just call me Captain Beanie.
In a much more serious tone, he added,
By the way, I'm Alex.
Tanya, after receiving my order, I sat at one of the tables. When Alex had finished his shift, he joined me. I told him about the 3 books I published with Mom's help, while he told me about his life.
I grew up in an orphanage and was adopted by a nice couple about a year ago.
I'm glad you finally have a family. A strange look crossed Alex's face, and he smiled.
So do I.
Alex was kind and smart and super easy to talk to. Over the next few weeks, when I wasn't at school or writing, I was hanging out with Alex. One afternoon, I invited Alex home to watch movies. I had gone into the kitchen to get snacks, and when I returned, Alex and Eva were laughing and talking as if they'd known each other for years. And sure enough, over the next 2 weeks, Alex was hanging out with Eva more than he was with me. I was furious. So, you're ditching me again to hang out with Eva?
Tanya, she's your sister. I don't see what the problem is.
I couldn't help but feel jealous. Alex was supposed to be my friend, not Eva's. I decided to confront him about it at the cafe. When I got there, he was deep in thought as he stared at a picture that he was holding. I snuck behind him to glance at the picture, and I gasped when I realized that it was a picture of Eva. Are you stalking my sister? You creep! Startled, Alex fumbled with the picture and shoved it into his pocket.
It's nothing like that, Tanya. Please, keep your voice down.
You want me to keep my voice down? You befriended me to get to my sister, didn't you?
I did, but it's not what you think.
Then explain it to me. What Alex said next turned my world upside down.
Ava is my sister.
I looked at Alex and began laughing hysterically. Am I being pranked? Do you have hidden cameras in here? Alex shook his head, and I saw the sadness in his eyes. What? Are you serious? It has to be a mistake.
One day, the orphanage director asked me to bring out some files from his office, and I accidentally dropped them. I noticed my mother's name and a picture of her. Out of curiosity, I opened the file and saw that Mom had a twin birth. So I jotted down the name of the person who adopted my sister and traced it back to your family.
I was stunned and hurt. Why would Mom keep something like this a secret for 17 years? I understood why Alex ditched me. He wanted to spend time getting to know his sister. I knew I had to do something. You're coming with me. Before he could say no, I grabbed his hand and dragged him out of the cafe all the way home. Mom? Eva? Where are you? Mom came out from the kitchen, but Eva was nowhere to be seen. When were you going to tell Eva that she was adopted? A look of horror appeared on Mom's face. Who told you that? It doesn't matter. Mom, is it true? Is Eva adopted? Mom sank into the sofa.
Yes, it's true. Eva is adopted.
We heard a gasp, and we all looked up to see Eva frozen at the top of the stairs, her eyes as wide as saucers. She turned around and bolted to her room, and I ran after her. Just as she was about to slam her door on me, I rammed the door with my shoulder hard, sending the both of us flying into the room. Mom and Alex rushed into the room, and Mom knelt by my side.
Tanya, are you okay?
Mom, I'm fine. Eva needs you. Why didn't you tell us? I looked across at Eva, who was staring out of the window. Her shoulders shook slightly, and I knew she was crying. Mom went over to her while Alex helped me to my feet. Mom tried to touch Eva's shoulders, but she shrugged Mom off. Is this why you never liked me? Because you're not my mother?
Eva, you are my daughter, and I love you. Around the time Tanya was born, we visited the orphanage for a charity run, and we fell in love with you, so we brought you home.
Eva turned to face Mom. Her mascara mingled with tears running down her cheeks.
What type of love makes you rape my dreams and toss them into the garbage?
Mom was in tears.
Eva, loving something and being able to make it into a career are two different things. I love to sing, but I sound like a frog with a tuba stuck in my throat.
And I love to play the harmonica, but I'm not very good at it.
Oh, OMG. You guys really are siblings. The worst harmonic duo in history. A small smile curved onto Eva's lips.
As your mother, it's my job to tell you the truth. Maybe together we can think about what you're really good at and take it from there.
But you should have told me.
I'm sorry I didn't. did. Can you forgive me?
I think so.
But I need time to process it all.
Now that you guys have made up, Mom, do you mind taking me to the hospital?
Over the next few months, Eva and I grew closer, and I was happy to see Mom and Eva spending more time together.
Alex and his parents came to dinner once a week, but Alex was always hanging out at our house. I didn't lose a sister. I gained a brother, an aunt, and an uncle.
Once Eva and I graduated from high school,
I went to college, and Eva started her harmonica band. Just kidding. Eva didn't know what she wanted to do yet, so she got a job at the cafe, and Alex and Mom supported her. And after 2 years, Alex and Eva decided to open their own cafe, and Eva went to college to get a degree in business. No family is perfect, but a supportive family is everything.
That was beautiful. That was good. Same time next week. Love y'all guys. And don't forget to subscribe.
It's the little things